The crystal chandelier cast elegant shadows across the formal dining room of my parents' mansion. Mom had insisted on a small family dinner to celebrate Dad's latest hospital acquisition, their fourth this year. The table was set with their finest Versace china, each place setting probably worth more than what they thought I made in a month. Sophia, darling, do try to sit up straight. Mom adjusted her Cartier necklace, frowning at my posture. Just because you work in a hospital doesn't mean you need to slouch like your patients. I took a slow sip of water, my Patek Philippe watch hidden beneath the sleeve of my simple blue blazer. The watch was worth more than their chandelier, but they'd never noticed it. They never noticed anything about me unless it was to criticize. Speaking of work, Dad cut into his Wagyu beef. I just acquired Memorial Heights Hospital. Quite a bargain at $200 million. He smiled, expecting praise. That makes 4 hospitals in our network now. That's wonderful, dear, Mom beamed, then turned to me with a practiced look of concern. Sophia, honey, are you still working as a nurse? The way she said nurse made it sound like I was cleaning sewers. I maintained my calm smile, the same one I wore in board meetings. I'm still in healthcare, yes. A nurse. At your age. Dad shook his head, swirling his red wine. Your sister's running 3 departments in my hospitals and you're still changing bedpans. I checked my phone discreetly as it vibrated. Another acquisition alert. I'd have to step out soon for the board vote. I like helping people, I said simply, cutting my meat with precise movements. Helping people doesn't pay the bills, Dad scoffed. Do you know what your sister made last quarter as chief of surgery? 7 figures. And you're making what, 40,000 a year? Mom touched my hand with artificial sympathy. Darling, maybe it's time to let your father help you. There's always room in administration. Even you could handle paperwork. My phone vibrated again. The board was waiting. Still taking the bus to work? Dad asked, his voice dripping with disappointment. I offered to buy you a car last year. The bus is fine, I replied, checking my watch. Almost time. The bus. My daughter takes the bus. Dad set down his fork. While your sister drives a Bentley. I just don't understand where we went wrong with you, Sophia. No ambition. No drive. Just wasting your life away in some nursing job. Maybe if you'd finished medical school, Mom added, like your sister. My phone rang. The custom ringtone meant it was Sarah, my executive assistant. Dad frowned at the interruption. Excuse me, I said, standing. I need to take this. Really, Sophia? During dinner. Mom sighed. It's probably just the hospital asking you to cover another shift. I answered the phone, staying at the table. Yes, Sarah. Ma'am, the board approved your $400 million acquisition of Mercy Medical. The vote was unanimous. You now own the largest hospital network in the state. I didn't try to hide my smile as I put the phone on speaker. Mom's wine glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the imported marble floor. I'm sorry, what did you say? Dad's face had gone pale. The paperwork is ready for your signature, Ms. Chen, Sarah continued professionally. Mercy Medical's entire network, including their research facilities and the new cancer center, is now under your control. That makes 12 hospitals total in your portfolio. Would you like me to have the jet ready for the press conference tomorrow? Mom's hands were shaking. Dad's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Thank you, Sarah. Have the contracts brought to my apartment. I'll sign them tonight. I ended the call and stood up, smoothing my blazer. 12 hospitals? Dad whispered. Largest network in the state, I confirmed, finally rolling up my sleeve to check my watch. Their eyes locked onto the $2.3 million timepiece. And yes, Dad. I do still help people. I just do it on a slightly larger scale than you assumed. But you're a nurse, Mom stammered. Actually, I smiled, picking up my phone as another message came through. I own the hospital where I work as a nurse. I find it helps me understand what my staff and patients really need. Something about hands-on experience. The sound of a helicopter approaching made the windows vibrate slightly. That's my ride, I said, dropping my napkin on the table. Thank you for dinner. When, Dad? About Memorial Heights Hospital? I'm afraid that sale won't be going through. They accepted my offer this morning. $500 million. Sometimes you have to overpay for quality. The helicopter's blades were still whirring when Dad burst through the front doors, his face flushed red. Mom stumbled after him, her perfect makeup streaked with tears of confusion. This is impossible. Dad shouted over the noise. You can't possibly. His voice cut off as Sarah stepped out of the helicopter, carrying a leather portfolio embossed with my company's logo. Chin Medical Innovations. Behind her, 2 board members in expensive suits followed, both nodding respectfully in my direction. Miss Chin. Sarah handed me the portfolio. The Wall Street Journal is requesting a statement about the Mercy Medical acquisition. Also, the governor called to congratulate you on the new Cancer Research Center funding. The governor? Mom whispered, gripping Dad's arm. I opened the portfolio, reviewing the acquisition papers. Sarah, please show my parents the current holdings presentation. They seem to be having trouble understanding the situation. Sarah pulled out her tablet, bringing up a holographic display of my hospital network. Dozens of blue dots illuminated across the state map, each representing a major medical facility. As you can see, Sarah explained professionally, Ms. Chen's network includes 12 major hospitals, 23 specialized clinics, 5 research centers, and the state's largest medical AI development facility. Total value, approximately $8.2 billion. Dad staggered back a step. $8 billion. The blue markers are current holdings, Sarah continued. The red ones are facilities pending acquisition, including Memorial Heights. She glanced at Dad. We outbid Sterling Medical Group this morning. Mom's knees buckled. One of the board members caught her before she fell. But you're just a nurse, she protested weakly. Your daughter, Mr. Patterson, the head of my board, stepped forward, has revolutionized medical care in this state. Her policy of working hands-on in each facility has transformed patient care standards. She's not just anything. The nursing shifts, Dad's voice was hollow, at different hospitals. Were me inspecting my facilities, I confirmed, signing the final acquisition paper. I find traditional management visits don't show the real picture. You'd be amazed what staff and patients will tell a nurse that they'd never tell a SU. Sarah's tablet chimed. He checked it and smiled. Ma'am, Mercy Medical's board just released the sale announcement. You're trending on Twitter. As if on cue, Dad's phone started ringing. He pulled it out with trembling hands, staring at the screen. That'll be your board, I said calmly. They're probably wondering why you never mentioned your daughter owns their biggest competitor. Or that your attempted purchase of Memorial Heights was just blocked by my company. You've been playing us, Mom whispered. All these years. No, Mother. I've been working. Building something meaningful. While you were mocking my career choices, I was revolutionizing patient care. While you were bragging about my sister's surgical department, I was developing AI diagnostic systems that are now used worldwide. Mr. Patterson checked his watch. Ms. Chin, the press is waiting at Mercy Medical. Of course, I nodded. Sarah, please give my parents the full portfolio. They should probably understand exactly what their failure daughter has built. Sarah handed Mom a thick folder. This includes Ms. Chen's complete holdings, charitable foundations, research grants, and medical patents. The Forbes article naming her most innovative medical CEO is on page 3. Time magazine's 40 Under 40 feature is on page 5. The Nobel Committee's letter regarding her AI diagnostic system is attached at the back. Dad opened the folder with shaking hands, papers spilling out. News articles, magazine covers, and financial reports scattered across the driveway. Mom fell to her knees, gathering them up, her eyes growing wider with each headline. Medical Prodigy's AI system saves millions. Chin Medical Network revolutionizes patient care. Youngest female so transforms healthcare. Billion-dollar empire built by former nurse. Your sister's surgical department, I said softly, uses equipment my company developed. Her 7-figure salary comes from a hospital I own. Every patient she treats benefits from systems I created. Why didn't you tell us? Mom's voice cracked. Would you have believed me? I adjusted my blazer. Besides, you never asked. You were too busy assuming I was a failure. The helicopter blades spun faster. Sarah held the door open for me. I have a press conference to attend, I said. Dad, don't worry about Memorial Heights. I'll have my team send over a fair settlement for your bid withdrawal. Consider it a daughter's gift to her father. Sophia, wait. Dad stepped forward. Miss Chin, Sarah interrupted. "The mayor is holding the press conference for you. We should go." I paused at the helicopter door, looking back at my stunned parents. "Oh, and Mom? About that car you offered last year? I bought the entire dealership instead. You'll be getting new ownership paperwork tomorrow." The helicopter lifted off, leaving them standing in the rotor wash, surrounded by scattered papers documenting my empire. The last thing I saw was Dad falling into a patio chair, staring at the Forbes magazine cover with my picture on it, the headline reading, "Healthcare's Secret Billionaire, the Nurse Who Built an Empire." The press conference at Mercy Medical was just wrapping up when my phone buzzed with a series of desperate texts from my sister. "What is happening? Dad is having a meltdown. Why didn't you tell me? My hospital equipment is from your company?" I slipped the phone back into my pocket as cameras flashed. The mayor was still speaking, praising the acquisition and the promised $2 billion investment in new medical technology for the city. Behind him, the massive digital display showed my company's stock price soaring after the announcement. "Ms. Chin," a reporter called out, "how does it feel to now control the largest medical network in state history?" I stepped to the podium wearing the same simple blazer from dinner. "It feels like responsibility. Every hospital in our network represents thousands of lives we can help, hundreds of families we can support. That's why I still work hands-on in our facilities. Real leadership means understanding every level of care we provide." More cameras flashed. My phone buzzed again. "Dad, this time. We need to talk. Please. Your mother hasn't stopped crying." Sarah appeared at my elbow. "Your parents just arrived in the lobby, ma'am. Security is asking for instructions." I almost smiled. Of course they'd come. Their perfectly ordered world had just shattered. "Have them escorted to my office," I said quietly. "The real one, not the nurse's station." 20 minutes later, I entered my top-floor executive suite. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city, with my newly acquired hospitals visible in the skyline. Mom and Dad stood awkwardly by my desk, looking out of place despite their expensive clothes. "Nice office," Dad said weakly. "Bigger than mine." "The nursing station downstairs is more important," I replied, sitting in my chair. "That's where the real work happens." Mom was clutching her designer purse like a shield. "Why didn't you tell us? All these years. Would it have mattered?" I asked, pulling up hospital performance metrics on my holographic display. "You decided who I was the moment I chose nursing over medical school. Everything after that was just confirmation bias. We thought." Dad struggled with the words. "We thought you were wasting your potential." "No," I corrected him. "You thought I was failing to live up to your expectations. There's a difference." I brought up another display showing patient care statistics. "While you were building an empire focused on profit, I was creating something focused on people. Every nurse I hire, every patient we treat, every facility we improve, it's all about better care. Your sister," Mom started, "is an excellent surgeon," I finished. "In one of my hospitals, using my technology treating patients under my protocols. I'm proud of her work. The difference is I never needed you to be proud of mine." Dad sank into one of the visitor chairs. "The Memorial Heights deal will be compensated fairly," I assured him. "Your shareholders won't lose money. But the facility will be restructured to prioritize patient care over profit margins." "You've owned us all along," he whispered. "Every new equipment purchase, every protocol change, every technological upgrade in our hospitals, it was all you." "Not all along," I corrected him. "Just the past 5 years. While you were mocking my bus rides to work, I was actually taking my private elevator to this office. While you pitted my nurse's salary, I was earning more in an hour than your hospital group made in a year." Mom wiped her eyes. "And tonight? The dinner was supposed to be just dinner," I shrugged. "The Mercy Medical vote wasn't planned for tonight. But since you both seemed so concerned about my financial status, it felt like the right time for transparency." My phone buzzed again. Sarah's message read, "Stock up 47% after announcement. You're now worth $12.4 billion. "I need to get back to work," I said, standing. "Real work down in the nursing station. Unlike some CEOs, I actually know how to insert an for." "Sophia," Dad stood quickly. We're sorry." "I know," I nodded. But this isn't about apologies. It's about understanding. Everything you mocked, my nursing career, my hands-on approach, my focus on patient care, built this. I gestured to the empire visible through my windows. So keep your apology. Just learn from it. Can we start over? Mom asked quietly. We already have. I picked up my nurse's badge from the desk. You're both looking at me clearly for the first time. That's a start. I walked to the door, then paused. Oh, and Dad? Next time you want to acquire a hospital, try asking your daughter first. You might get a family discount. As I headed down to my nursing shift, I could see their reflections in the elevator's mirrored walls. Standing in my office, finally seeing their failure daughter for who she really was. Not just a nurse, not just a CO, but someone who had built something meaningful while they weren't looking. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from my sister. Just saw the company holdings. Does this mean I technically work for my little sister now? I smiled, straightening my nurse's badge as the elevator doors opened to the busy hospital floor. Time to make some rounds, I thought, grabbing a patient chart. After all, the best way to run an empire is to understand every part of it, starting with the next four that needed changing.